Welcome to another of Norm's EV road trips. With Sunmark, they cover 1,000 miles in 4 days, travelling through gorgeous Scottish scenery to take in the islands of Skye and Mull. The first leg of the run takes Norm and Mark 150 miles up the M6 and M74 to Abington Services.
Absolutely.
And it's raining, so I'm taking the picture under the shelter of the boot lid.
I've put my sunglasses on my head just in case.
Yeah. Welcome to Abington.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Opened in 1993 as part of the M74 upgrade, Abington service area is in a truly beautiful spot. With 24 rapid chargers, including 6 superb Tesla superchargers, EV facilities here are becoming quite good. This stop is for bladder rather than battery, but a 15-minute top-up, whilst they use the toilets and get a brew, will get them to Inverness comfortably. Driving northeast along the A702, it's just 53 miles to the planned lunch stop at Queensferry.
Well, we took the view there then.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it?
It's not bad, is it? Bit misty, but you get the gist of it.
Yeah.
Scott's Bar and Restaurant is a great place to take lunch. With its grand views of the Firth of Forth, it is just a mile or so from the M90 and the main route northward. Today, there are 3 bridges crossing the Firth of Forth. The newest opened in 2017 and carries the M90 motorway. The earlier 1964 bridge is nowadays relegated to carrying local traffic and pedestrians. But the star of the show is undoubtedly the rail bridge. Designed by Sir John Fowler and Benjamin Baker, this masterpiece carried its first train in 1890 and is now a World Heritage Site. Leaving the village of Queensferry and joining the M90 northbound, a brief glimpse of all 3 bridges can be had. The Queensferry crossing, as the new bridge is called, delivers wonderful views of the river 200 metres below. The fact that it is toll-free is an added bonus. When Norm first travelled this way, in the mid-1970s, holiday traffic could be a nightmare. Even on a powerful motorbike, it was common to be stuck behind trucks and caravans for mile after mile after mile. Thankfully, it is now motorway to the A9 junction near Perth, then dual or wide single carriageway roads to Aviemore. From Aviemore, the route takes us on Scottish B roads, due north to Nairn. Back in July 1976, Norm recalled riding through Nairn on his 750 Triumph Trident. He remembers it as a quiet, simple place back then.
Sunnybray Hotel.
Yep, we're here.
357 miles. It's just coming up to 5:20. About an hour and a half later, because that A9 closure.
Yeah, not great, but we are here.
At least it's not raining.
Yep, yet.
Not yet. Not yet. Right,
yep.
Get checked in, get a beer or 2.
Again,
Good.
This is the way.
This is the way.
An ancient fishing port and market town, Nairn is around 17 miles east of Inverness on the southern edge of the Moray Firth. The expanse of sand beaches were used extensively in training exercises for the Normandy landings during World War II. Today, it is mainly a tourist resort, but it still has that quiet air about it that Norm remembers from his brief visit in the 1970s.
Where are we going?
We're going to the bar.
What's it called?
The Sun Dancer Bar and Restaurant. So, that's where we're going.
It's good from here.
Yeah.
After a hearty breakfast, and with a full charge courtesy of the hotel's EV chargers, we set out via Inverness to Strathcarron. Prior to August 1982, travellers north of Inverness had the choice of the Keswick Ferry or a 20-mile journey via Beaulieu. To protect against any potential seismic activity of the Great Glen Fault, this Category B listed bridge includes seismic buffers in its construction. Most travellers enjoying the magnificent Strathcarron Road will be unaware of the mainline railway hiding on the far side of the loch, until they come across this rail bridge. This is a main road, the A890. Imagine how difficult it was to travel this way 120 years ago.
Missed the train then.
Yep. But he's got the token.
There'll be another one in about 5-6 hours.
He's got the token though, so it's all fine.
The Highland Railway Company completed the through route from Inverness to Kyle of Lochhalsh in 1897. Today, there are just 3 or 4 passenger trains daily in each direction, and no freight to speak of.
You clear yours, yeah?
Clear mine.
Yeah, awesome.
Whilst the end of the railway is here at Kyle, it is also the gateway to Skye and the Outer Hebrides. The second part of day 2 takes us over the road bridge and onto the Isle of Skye. Initially, the design was controversial and there was widespread criticism, much of which has since waned. In 1977, when Norm first made this crossing, it was by this ferry. 10 years before that, the scene was even more of a bygone age. The Skye Bridge opened on October 16, 1995, and was initially a toll bridge, but the tolls were lifted in 2004 after much protesting. Getting from the mainland to Skye now goes almost unnoticed by the 625,000 vehicles that cross it every year. The scenery on Skye is legendary. This is Glamhaig, near Sconser. And this is Portree. On that 1977 motorcycle holiday, Norm camped here. And got pissed. Now sober, Norm regrets giving his BMW a drink of beer, although it didn't seem to mind. Just to the north of Portree, a mountain known as the Store comes into view for the first time. The Old Man of Store is a 55-metre-high pinnacle of basalt rock which is all that remains of a 2,800 million-year-old volcanic plug. 45 years ago, this was a relatively quiet place, reached by a crumbling single-track road. But no longer.
Prometheus has landed. These are ancient civilizations that were separated by centuries, and yet this same pictogram was discovered in every one of them. They're smiling.
I think they want us to come and find them.
Imagine the sight of Hollywood actors and technicians crawling all over this hillside back in 2012. And how many have visited here, having seen a glimpse of this magical place in the film? This once quiet, unclassified road in the Trotternish region was where to see another car once an hour was the usual way of things. These remote areas are now seeing high volumes of European tourists.
Isn't that driving on the wrong side of the road?
Yeah,
Yeah, just to get around.
So he's used to driving that side of the road. So you'd be happy up here. Is there a toilet? Because is it there's a toilet up here?
No.
Do you know? Oh, that's a bloody shame.
Norm wanted to bring Mark this way to show him the isolation of the place as he saw it back in the 70s. Instead, traffic was so heavy it took nearly an hour to cover the 6 miles to the small ferry town of Uig. There, it was intended to have a pee and grab some lunch. The EV charger was rusted and broken. Good job we didn't need it.
Sun's come out, Mark.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So, trip round the north of Skye. A bit too much traffic up there for us.
Yep.
Absolutely abysmal facilities. So we've had a sausage roll, a bit of a dry cheese sandwich made with margarine, would you believe? Didn't know you could still get that shit. Anyway, we're now just 8 miles to go before we get to the junction at Broadford, and then ferry at Armadale over back to the mainland.
Broadford turned out to be a lovely spot. Clean toilets, a place to buy a decent coffee, and a fabulous view. There was also a brand new 50 kilowatt charger, which worked. So they topped up, 'cause they could. The final leg of day 2 involved a short drive to the ferry port of Armadale. Crossing time is only about 35 minutes. Once back on the mainland, the hotel is but a short drive through Mallaig. MV Corrywisk was built in Devon by Appledore Shipbuilders and launched in 2003. For a short route as this, it was very comfortable.
Okay. Alright, another day.
Yep, a good day. Busy on the roads, but a good day.
It was a good day, and yeah, Skye was disappointing on that single track road, wasn't it? That was disappointing. People stopped on the wrong side of the road in passing places, people stopping in passing places.
Take
just
a photo,
to take photographs with traffic stacked up behind them and stacked coming the other way.
However,
anyway,
we've had a good ferry crossing. I've had a beer already, which is positive.
I haven't.
I know.
And I'm gonna have one now.
Absolutely, this is the way.
Mallaig was developed into the town we see today by the railway. Norm previously visited here in 1987. With rail enthusiast and father-in-law, John Halliwell, he travelled by steam train from Fort William. It was a unique service, run by ScotRail, to generate tourist traffic along the line. Who could know that 19 years later, Norm would pass for driving steam on this very same locomotive? Whilst John continued his journey by rail, Norm jumped on his K100 RS BMW and rode home. He left Fort William at 10 to 5 and arrived home to have a beer at precisely 9 p.m. Don't try that now. The first leg of day 3 involved visiting some of the remotest areas of the British mainland.
Good morning, Scotland.
Yes, very good morning. Very
Yeah.
nice. It looks like Switzerland.
At the hotel the previous night, the EV charger was complete and utter pants. Fortunately, with nearly 400 miles of range, it wasn't a problem. But it is irritating because charging an electric car should be done when doing something else. Single-track roads are to be expected in these sparsely populated areas. Yet, Norm was surprised to find them little improved over the past 47 years. Thankfully, drivers in this neck of the woods seem to be courteous and respectful of one another, even when the wait can be a minute or two. With such superb scenery, waiting for oncoming traffic now and again doesn't seem too bad.
I say, are you enjoying this drive as much as I am?
Yeah, dodging the sheep.
Just shout mint sauce at him.
Ardnamurchan Peninsula is the most westerly point on the British mainland. The plan is to visit the lighthouse at the headland, a facility that was unavailable to Norm back in 1977. And there it is, the Atlantic Ocean. As we artificial intelligence narrators say when we're excited, scribbly debabalyoki wakidubi.
That gate post on the right there is where I took a shot with my R75/6
Yeah.
all those years ago.
This traffic light's going to change.
Yeah.
There we go.
You can snot it in here.
There was no petrol station at the visitor centre, but there was an EV charge point. Just saying. All lighthouse buildings are now open to the public. The 35-metre tower was built in 1849 using granite from the Isle of Mull. It was designed by Alan Stevenson, Robert Louis Stevenson's nephew. But it was the cafe that interested Norm and Mark the most, which is no surprise at all. Looking at the islands of Muck, Egg and Rum, Norm recalled the motorcycle ride that night after work back in 1977. A fellow rider to the Antler Rally, Les Hobbs, aptly sums it up.
Past sailing the A861 becomes the B8007. I have never, ever come across a road like this. A real nightmare, a farmer's dirt track. The rain has stopped, but now it's foggy, and the road is gated. Off the bike, open the gate, ride through, off the bike, close the gate. The road, 6 feet wide, has 2 sets of tire tracks and a deadly pyramid of loose gravel and grass growing in the center. Gates, sheep, longhorned Highland cattle and the mist, force speed down to walking pace. It was frightening. Finally, arriving at Kilhone at 9 p.m., I stopped the bike, ran into the pub to the cheers of the gathered throng, and ordered 3 pints.
The next part of the drive involves retracing the route to Kilhone. There is a small slipway there, from whence the ferry to Mull departs. What have we here? A spanking new 50 kilowatts charger. On free vend. Why not? Whilst waiting for the ferry.
Ted's notebook.
Ted's notebook, yeah.
Nice one. I'm going to take some pictures.
Okay.
At Kilhone, fossil hunters have a good chance of discovering some ancient marine life. Fossil remains of marine cephalopoid mollusks, such as ammonites and the belemnites, can be found in the Jurassic limestone and shales around Kilhone Bay. Non's initial idea was to drive right around the Isle of Mull, but the weather eventually put paid to that.
Welcome to Mull then.
Yep, Isle of Mull.
Tobermory.
The sun's come out.
As Mark said, the sun's come out. But not for long. That's a shame, as neither Norm or Mark has been to Mull before. Tobermory derives its name from the Gaelic to Tobar Moiri, meaning the Well of Mary. It was established in 1788, created by the British Fisheries Society. In 1847, Queen Victoria visited Tobermory in the royal yacht Victoria and Albert. She described Tobermory as prettily situated.
Yes. 30 minutes. 35.
Sorry.
As the weather closed in, it was decided to curtail the drive around the island. Instead, a short detour to a place called Kellen was decided upon.
You going in? What's the water like?
Following the quick paddle in the sea lock, the calling of the beer was to be heard. And with this, Norm and Mark hot-tail it to the Isle of Mull Hotel and Spa. In reality, this was a hotel adjacent to a public swimming pool. Bloody priceless. The stay in the hotel was actually very nice indeed. On the Sunday morning, the fourth and last day, it was just half a mile to the ferry.
It's not as if forgetting to turn your car alarm off is unpleasant, is it?
We nearly did.
I know. But we can look smug, because we did.
You did.
With a journey time of under an hour, Oban soon came into view.
Back on the mainland.
Yes. Proper ferry terminal this, isn't it?
Yep.
The Connell Bridge, spanning Lochitreeve and the Falls of Laura, is just a few miles north of Oban. Built in 1909 for the Callander and Oban Railway, a roadway was soon added alongside the single-line track. After the line closed in 1966, the bridge was converted for the exclusive use of road vehicles and pedestrians. Oh yes, the silent yet instant power of a Tesla. After following the shores of Loch Lomond for what seems like forever, the River Clyde is crossed via the Erskine Bridge, the last big structure on this trip.
The River Clyde.
Absolutely.
There was a final stop for coffee and a 10-minute top-up charge at Abington before the final leg home.
Prettiest bit of the M6.
Yeah, 1 hour on the nose to go.
Right, what do we make it?
953 miles.
9:53 in 4 days, 3 nights. 5.5 hours from Oban. That's not isn't bad.
Good. Yeah,
Considering. And yeah,
smooth run.
216 watt hours per mile. That's just better than 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour for the whole trip. That'll mean nothing to the petrol heads, but what it means is that's pretty good.
Yeah, thank you again for a good trip.
Yeah, ditto. Yeah, good time.
Right.
I hope it'll take me less than a couple of weeks for my liver to regenerate,
Yeah,
and then it'll be good for the next one.
yeah, 2 weeks.
All right,
All right.
knob on.